Fellow stackers, 365 here, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I wanted to kind of give some advice to the newer stackers. This is for the people sitting on the fence, maybe thinking about getting into precious metals. Maybe you bought your first 1 or 2 ounces and you're kind of looking for a bit of guidance on what direction to go in next. Now before we go any further, I'm not a financial advisor, so do always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Now without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, when you first start stacking, in my opinion, you should start focusing on your foundation stack first. And what I mean by that is getting as much weight as you can for your money. So you want to focus on the bigger bars, you want to focus on the tubes of coins as opposed to buying the 1 and 2 ounces individually. You don't really want to particularly focus on the coin, you want to more focus on the price. Now, for example, these Canadian silver maples, these are 2013 ones. I could get these at the time a lot closer to spot than if I was to get the Britannia, even though the Britannia is actually minted in my country. I managed to get these second hand, so I saved VAT also. And I wasn't too fussed. For me, it was about getting as much silver ounces as possible for at least money. So try not to focus too much on a particular coin. Now, I suggest getting some bars in the stack along the way. The bars, again, work out if you divide the ounces by how much you spent on the bar, you can get them for a lot cheaper than the coins if you buy them individually. And my advice is get a few bars in between buying tubes, just to bring your average down a little bit, because you want to kind of keep a spreadsheet. You want to keep a note of what you're spending on different coins, so you can tally it all up. You can divide it, the total amount you spent, by the amount of ounces you've got, and you can see what your average ounce cost is. So that's very important. So that's why I think bars are a very essential part of your foundation of your stack, because they just bring that average down, and the closer you can get to spot, the better. Now, you also want to set yourself a goal. You want to set yourself a target. So when I first started stacking, for example, my target was to get myself 50 ounces. Once I hit 50, then I changed it to 100 ounces, and I kept moving my target, moving my goal. Now, if you haven't got a goal, it's very hard to know kind of how much you want to put aside per month, what your target in ounces is. So I find having a goal is another essential part of when you start investing into anything, really, whether you start investing in stocks and shares, whether it be crypto, whatever your investment vehicle is. It's always important, in my opinion, to have a goal, something to aim towards. You also want to be very careful with how much you're investing. Things like precious metals, gold and silver, yes, they are liquid. Yes, you can sell them to a dealer. However, they're not as liquid as kind of stocks and shares, where you can just click a couple of buttons and you've got your money back. If you spend the VAT, for example, on a coin and the postage and all the rest of it, and then you want to try and sell it a week later, even if spot price has crept up a little bit, you are going to lose money, okay? Because gold and silver is not a kind of quick money maker. It's more of a preservation of wealth. It's more of a kind of fight against inflation. It's somewhere to kind of park your money for a long-term future. And I'm talking 20 to 30 years as a minimum when you're invested in these sort of vehicles. Always have that in mind. Only invest what you can absolutely afford. Say you have £200 a month spare, maybe only invest £50, so you've still got £150 spare in case your boiler went or your car needed repairs or whatever it may be. And then that means you've still got a nice buffer, so if you ever came down to needing some money, you don't have to sell your gold or silver at a loss. Now, when you go on different websites and you're looking to pick up silver, you do have to be careful with the hidden costs. There's a lot of websites out there that advertise their silver without the VAT and without the postage. And then when you add it to the checkout, when you come to pay at the end, then it chucks it on. So you always want to bear that in mind when you're going on to different websites and trying to compare the best deal. Some website might have it all up front. They might say this is the cost of a 1 ounce Britannia, for example, including VAT and postage. Other websites might say this is the cost of Britannia, but they won't show you the VAT and the postage until at the end at checkout. So always go all the way through to checkout, get that final figure before you pay, write that down on a bit of paper, go to your next website, do the same thing again, go all the way down to checkout, right before you put in your bank details, your card details, write that figure down. And that is the best way to kind of really find the best deals, not just look at the face value on the website. And a lot of websites, including the Royal Mint, they say from a certain price, and that from price is often referring to, say you brought 10 ounces of gold or silver in one hit, for example. So sometimes even more. Sometimes on silver, it's like if you buy 100 ounces of silver Britannias, then you get it from that from price. If you're just buying sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever it may be, the lower denominators, you can pay as much as like £1 or so more. So always bear that in mind as well. Like I said, go all the way through to the checkout right before you put your card details in. Write that figure down. Move to the next website. Do the same thing. Now, if we just talk about a couple of mistakes that I made when I first started stacking, and this is kind of one of the examples. I really, really like this coin still. However, I'll kind of explain to you why these are maybe a mistake, definitely for the newer stackers. So this coin is an Egyptian calendar coin. It's 2 ounces of silver. It's colorized. It has loads and loads of detail on it. Really, really nice looking coin. Gorgeous coin. Comes in its own box with its own certificate. There's a limited mintage on these. And like I said, it's 2 ounces of silver. Now, this cost me £205, and that was including postage and all the rest of it. So £205 for 2 ounces of silver. So you see, you've got 2 ounces over here. These two would cost around, let's say they cost £25 each. That would cost £50. In comparison, this costs £205 for the same amount of weight in silver. Now, for £205, I could have actually brought, at the time, 8 1-ounce silver coins. So you can see, for the comparison, I could have brought all of these coins for the same price that I paid for this one. So you really have to bear that in mind when you're looking at these colorized coins, the coins that are a limited mintage, they call them. And you've got to think, just because it's a limited mintage, does that mean anything? Just because, say, there was only 1,000 of these produced, are you going to have 1,000 people that want this coin? Okay, so limited mintage doesn't always mean that the coin is going to hold its value or be worth a lot more in the future. I can't ever see me getting back anywhere near what I paid for this unless the spot price hugely increased. So for me, this is just a nice item. It's a collectible item. It's an item that I like to look at because it is a beautiful coin. However, it's not a good investment in my opinion. So like I said, I could have brought 8 ounces of silver for the same price that I paid just for 2 ounces. So always bear that in mind. In my opinion, you should build your foundation stack first. Aim for, say, 100 ounces first. Once you get that foundation stack by stacking bullion coins and bars, then maybe chuck a couple of colorized coins in the mix if you like the look of them, to kind of keep it interesting, to kind of keep your kind of interest and spark going with stacking. If you just always invest in the same stuff, you might lose interest fairly quickly. So that's always a good bit of advice as well. Keep stacking the weight closest to spot. Whatever coins you can find that are closer to spot, stack those. Same with the bars, but every now and then maybe treat yourself and throw in a colorized coin, a coin that maybe isn't a great investment, but one you just like the look of, just to kind of keep your interest in stacking still alive. Now, I want to wrap the video up there. I don't want to make it too long. Let me know in the comment section below. Especially, I'd like to hear from newer stackers and what direction you have started off. I'd like to hear from some of the older stackers as well. Some people that have been stacking kind of 20, 30 years, of what tips and advice they have picked up along the way. As always, thank you very much for watching my videos, and I hope you have a nice day.